Be sure to check out my Patreon for weekly exclusive interviews, extra content on Veve and Ecomi, and building generational wealth, as well as money management tips from experienced whales. Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video. And this one, we're going to be checking out the homie Dan. It looks like he caught Rhys saying something crazy. So I want to see what's this about. I actually haven't seen anything lately from Rhys outside of the question I asked him, like, last week or whatever. But yeah, so I actually want to know what this is about, what's going on with the Ecomi token utility. So yeah, we're going to jump into this video. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And also be sure to subscribe to Dan. Like, he be out here grinding too. So yeah, show some love. That being said, let's get it.
Hello, my name is Dan. Welcome back to my channel. What is going on in the cryptocurrency markets right now? If you look at the cryptocurrency markets, you will see that everything is definitely in the red. We have seen such a drastic drop in even just the past 24 hours. It's utterly insane. And you might be looking at the Ecomi token price and be wondering, what is going to happen next? Are we going to drop below the 2 zeros and finally hit the dreaded 0.0009 mark? We'll talk about that. We're going to see what could possibly happen.
I mean, that's definitely, I feel like it's on the way. I have a bet going on with Foster and K once again, so we'll see. I mean, for some reason, they seem to think that we're not going to go lower. They think that, I mean, I guess K thinks he correctly called the bottom, the bottom of the market. I mean, he's a trading god if he did that, but yeah, I think he thinks he got the bottom right. Me personally, I feel like there's so much more inflation numbers and inflation stuff that's gonna happen. Like, prices of stuff gonna go up. Of consumer goods, it's just so many more reasons for things to go down. And then when it's a guaranteed recession, that's going to change the sentiment as well. So yeah, we have a lot of nasty things coming up, and I think that all of that is going to have a significant impact on the market. But anyway, we'll see.
In the cryptocurrency markets as a whole, as well as how it could affect the Ecomi token, as well as some key piece of information that the team has talked about in relation to the quarter two timelines with MTL and the web app, for example. So we're going to talk about all that. If you do appreciate my channel, you enjoy my content, I would just ask you to just please give a like, subscribe to my channel for more content just like this, and let's get into it. So briefly, I do want to talk about the various cryptocurrency prices right now. We see everything in the red. It's been a bloody 24 hours. We have Bitcoin trading at 22,000, Ethereum at 1.2K right now. And we have some other favorites like Cardano at 48 cents, XRP at 31 cents, Solana at 29 cents, Dogecoin at 5 cents. Now, is this really surprising? With everything going on in the markets right now, with inflation numbers that came out last week, we clearly see that there's a lot of pain still to be had in the markets, and it's really affecting crypto. We've been waiting for a type of correction like this in the general stock market really over the past decades. People have been talking about this, and it's finally here. It's been a perfect storm of easy money as well as war, and also kind of the general circumstances going on in the United States right now. These are all playing a role in drastically affecting the markets. So now is the time to generally be fearful, but you need to be fearful with a strategy because very few people will tell you this, but the vast majority of wealth is made in down markets. We need to find assets to invest in that have good survivability, also with a lot of upside potential after this bear market. And that's why we're looking at tokens like Ecomi, because it's such a value proposition if you understand the tokenomics and what the team is doing right now.
Exactly. What other place in the crypto space can you find companies affiliated with DC, Marvel, U.S. government, AMC theaters, freaking James Bond, like literally all of these brands? You cannot find anywhere else in the whole crypto space that's affiliated with all of these companies. So that in itself tells you what you need to know about the project. I mean, you can criticize it all day long. There's always going to be something that you can find for them to do better. But I think what more people need to be focusing on is how they can do better, because you can't control what the team does. You either made a good investment or you didn't. Like, that's why I don't have to worry about what the team does, because I know I made a good investment. They can do what they want because I know whatever they're doing is going to be making me money. But if you're not that confident, you should be working on what made you make that terrible decision in the first place if you're seeing this investment is not so good. So yeah, that's just my opinion though. I mean, focusing on someone else doing a bear market when you could just be learning so much, accumulating so much other stuff. It's so much opportunity right here, and people are crying about Veve. I mean, couldn't be me. Like I got way too many goals to be sitting here crying about something I have no control over. I have control over the decisions I make right now, though, and that's why I've been making so many different moves in the market, man. Shout out to the Patreon. Y'all know what's up.
Now, as you can see here, OMI token is currently trading at 0.0012. It hasn't really been spared either, but definitely we have been trading at a range of about 0.0018 to 0.0011. And what's really interesting about this is that it hasn't broken that crucial level of support at 0.0011. Now, if you have watched some of my previous price videos, I talk about that the 0.0011 level is a very strong level of support. And also 0.0014 is important as well. But if we are to break 0.0011, if that ever happens, it's going to go into a downward spiral because there's really not a lot of good price data after 0.0011.
And that's the thing. What's happening right now is the worst that the crypto market has ever been. Like it is really bad right now. You have Bitcoin that's about to potentially fall to lows that it hasn't seen in quite a while. You also have Ethereum that could be going sub $500. So you have some stuff that's like, it's not normal for it to happen. Like a lot of stuff is happening right now. But then again, the recession, that's not a normal encounter that we have all the time. Literally these type of inflation numbers, everything is very, very harsh. And then we have a war going on. So when you have all these harsh catalysts, to think that we're gonna find support on normal levels, I don't really stand by that. I don't believe that. So I think that something what's gonna be unexpected to most is about to happen. But I fully suspect that things are going to get a lot worse personally, but that's just me. Hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, hopefully not hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, I hope I'm right too, like, to be honest, because I want these low prices, to be honest with you. I want these low prices, but I mean, I'm not mad if things start going up either. I mean, I've been accumulating very well, so I'm good. So yeah, I mean, but I still would love more time to accumulate.
So 3 zeros is definitely a possibility. But as you can see here, we have kind of kept at that level of resistance and we haven't really gotten down lower than 0.0011. So this is actually reassuring. A lot of people have been talking about possibly seeing a 0.0009. And I'm not saying that's not impossible. That definitely could happen. But it's going to be a really rough ride if it does, because I don't think it would just stop at 0.0009. If it goes to that levels, if it breaks that critical level of support at 0.0011, it's going to go a lot lower.
It's only so far down it could go, because it's not like everybody's about to just get to selling. But I mean, it's yeah. I mean, the community is going to start buying up as soon as it hits those levels. That's a million OMI for $1,000. Once it starts hitting down there, you're paying less than $1,000 for a million OMI. People are going to start turning up in the community. So I don't suspect that we're going to be at those levels and it's just going to like tank or something like that. The entire crypto space is going down. I mean, it may be scary to think about, but I mean, look at what Bitcoin's doing. If that's not terrifying, like it came from what, 60K? Like if it's not terrifying that was just that 20K and that was it bounced off the line, but I believe that it's going to go back down and break down. So yeah, they're talking about Bitcoin at potentially 12K. That's substantial. That would definitely bring OMI down. Like no way OMI, if Bitcoin drops to 12K, no way OMI stays up.
And I think this will only happen if it's preceded by big movements in the broader economy. If Bitcoin hits something like 18,000 or possibly goes lower, if the stock market takes a dump from where it has been, if there's even more negative data suggesting that, inflation could go higher, the economy
all the
could
stuff
go
that's
lower,
said to happen soon,
something else unpredictable happens, we could go a lot lower. But OMI itself is still fundamentally has not changed in terms of its value proposition. We are still waiting on big things like MTL and KYC and the web app and the Veveverse and multiple exchanges. Nothing fundamentally has changed from last year till today. And another thing supporting the fact that this could still be a very strong level of support is if we look at the RSI, we are almost and essentially just touched kind of oversold territory. Now is a great time to potentially buy tokens because the RSI is down below the 30 level there. So now is a great time. And if you look at previous prices, we went into overbought territory here at some of these prices at 0.0080. So this can signal a bottom. RSI is a really good indicator in that regard. So I think OMI token price will still do pretty well for now. Now I want to highlight a message that Sam Ellis posted in regards to MTL and some of the Q2 priorities we've seen, like web app, KYC, MTL. Alex here says, important to note that we're always refer to these as Q2 priorities, not a due date or deadline. If it slips, it won't be months. Meeting this week to get the latest. And Sam Ellis.
So that's what everybody was complaining about, crying about. Oh no, they're not going to meet the deadline. They won't meet the date. I mean, people were actually expecting them to. I'm hoping that they can get it together. But I mean, as long as they start missing their dates by closer range, because to say May and then it comes it comes out May the next year. Yo, David, hilarious, man. My man said May, and then the surprise came out the following year. The following year in May. I don't know why that's so funny, bro.
Else asked, does this mean we won't have MTL by the end of Q2? I think that's a legitimate question because Alex here seems to imply or state that, it's not a deadline anymore. It's more of a priority. So kind of hedging his bets there, and that's fine, I think. But he has some interesting response here. Alex says, no, it doesn't mean that. It means if it slips, implying that there's a scenario where it doesn't. Web, KYC, MTL has been and continues to be our Q2 priority. The word deadline implies if it doesn't hit on June 30th, all is lost. It's coming. We've delayed on the update video due to travel. No other reason. Hope that helps. Sam Ellis, appreciate the clarification. So what I like to assume from this is that even if we don't get these priorities by the end of June 30th, we could expect it maybe in a couple weeks. I know this has been a broken record of soon and when and on track, but I do believe that things are coming. Now, a lot of people.
I do want to add that if you don't understand what's going on, why things are taking so long, you need to do a little bit more research. Everybody always takes it as a joke when you say this, but you need to understand how long it takes development, why it takes development so long, what happens if you have incompetent developers, what happens if you program software using a faulty, framework, if you make something proprietary and it's bad, and how long it takes to literally create the exact same thing over again, but on a better framework. Like stuff like this, how long regulations take, how long it takes for licensing deals to go through. Literally every aspect of what Veve does naturally just takes long. The business in itself, even if it's running 100% perfect and smoothly, everything that they do takes a ton of time. And now they're dealing in stuff that doesn't exist, like freaking rules and regulations and stuff for the crypto space, and trying to protect Disney from something that has yet to be established what actually is the rule set. So it's a lot of reasons for things to be going slower, and I think one of the biggest things I said earlier in the space is that the team needs to stop just saying stuff to cater to people and to calm people down. They need to just ignore certain questions and don't bother talking about it. Like just literally just ignore it. Stop telling people soon. Stop telling people, oh, Q2 regardless. Like stop say it'll get here when it get here. Really that simple, man. If people invested in a project and they don't believe that the team will get the job done, they shouldn't have invested, and they need to learn their lesson one way or another. So like just let them sweat. Let them sweat if they don't believe in their investment. That's them.
People may have given up on the OMI token because they got frustrated, but now is not the time to give up.
Thank you, by the way, if you have. These levels has been beautiful.
If nothing has changed in your calculus, your thesis in your mind, you should continue to be buying the investment that you chose. And that's what I'm doing. I do plan on making some purchases really soon because I do believe the team is progressing. I do want to highlight one other thing here. We have a comment from Veve Viral. I've been here for a good while, but I would like to know what the plans are to give the token utility and make the circulating supply deflationary any update on the OUP version 2 article. Most new users want to walk through how to buy OMI, as current exchanges are a bit tricky. And Rhys says something that's pretty interesting. Agreed on how to buy, trying to implement a few ways to make that much simpler for everyone. So
integrate MoonPay. They got to get us on exchanges and stuff like that, so then they can implement stuff like MoonPay and transact and things like that to make it done much easier. And it'll be simple, very very simple, and anybody could do it. You could do it directly from your from your Apple Pay, easy.
So they're creating ways, a few ways, to make it easier to buy the token. Let's kind of continue on and we'll backtrack to that. We'll update the fam on all the amazing ways the OUP will reduce circulating supply as soon as possible. Like all good things, it will be worth the wait. This was posted yesterday, of course. So a few things here. He wants to implement a few ways to make that much simpler. So a few ways, obviously, is exchanges. We were promised 3 to 5 exchanges this year. We've also seen some things that implies that it's kind of paused, but we know exchanges are probably the easiest way to get some exposure to the token. This may be what he's implying here. I'm not 100% sure, but another thing that I think could be possible is they could offer a way when web app comes out where you can buy the OMI token directly on the web app. This is purely my speculation, but it is something that's been talked about in 2018 and 2019.
I don't know. It would have to be a third party, and I feel like that would kind of be easier to do on the phone. Honestly, I don't know though, because they can't move like they're an exchange. I think that was the issue with it. They can't start selling the OMI token as if there's some type of exchange or something. So I think that was a problem with it. Some uncertainty or non-clear enough around the regulations and the law surrounding doing something like that themselves. But something like MoonPay or something that can be done like straight through the phone, I feel like that would be easier to implement. Like that whole system where you can just buy it with ease. Yeah.
19, they've hinted at being able to do this, or they had some desires to want to be able to sell the OMI token on the web platform. Granted, there's a lot of regulation with that, but I think one easy way they could do that is they could either use a third-party payment provider like MoonPay to potentially facilitate a sale where you just use your credit card to buy OMI token. Another possible option could be tying the OMI token with an exchange where you have some interface on the web app and you can actually buy tokens facilitated through an exchange. I think that's probably less likely. That seems really complicated, but it would be great if you could buy OMI token for exchange prices using maybe some sort of third-party API or something like that. That would be great. But most likely I see a third-party payment provider like MoonPay that's already been done on things like Immutable X. It's kind of a no-brainer
Trust
to
wallet.
do it on the web app. I think that's an easy way to potentially buy tokens. So it'll be interesting to see what he says. And the last thing I do want to talk about here is he will update the fam on the amazing ways OUP will reduce CS, circulating supply, as soon as possible. Like all good things will be worth the wait. I think that very little of version 2 will be the way it is in version 1. I think they have taken some time to refine what they want to do with the token, how they want to drastically reduce circulating supply while following regulations. Regulations are very important, and we know those are coming.
And one thing I think is going to happen is I think that they're going to over deliver. I think that at some point they're going to release something where it's like, oh, it's clear why everything took so long. They've been working on this. No way. I think something like that is coming. I wouldn't put that past them. To do. Like, while everybody else seems to think that they slack off and they're wasting their time, this is David Yu's dream. This is his passion. This is everything he's worked his entire life to ever build. They're not slacking. They're not taking that lightly. And it's not like they're not already rich. These guys are already rich. So, I mean, it's not like they're like, and yeah, like they're doing a lot of work. It's not a cash grab. It's not a scam or something like that. It's like they have the cash already. They have bread. They've been had that. They didn't even have to do this to be rich. And then Alfred Khan coming out of retirement when he's sitting here leading whole charges to freaking eradicate COVID using magical masks and stuff like this. Like, come on now, that man, he didn't have to come back and do this. He chose to, and there's a reason for that. So yeah.
With all these crashes with Terra Luna and Celsius being kind of unstable. Regulation is coming, and we don't want to pretend it's not. We know it's coming soon. So they obviously have a way that I think will reduce a lot of circulating supply really quickly. And it'll be really interesting to see that whenever it comes out. So when I look at
Facts.
the price and look at all these things that are coming in the pipeline, I am not worried on the price. In fact, I am trying to find a way to buy as many OMI tokens as I possibly can before something big possibly happens. So really exciting time.
I doubt that's happening anytime soon. I don't think that they're gonna do something huge like release Pokemon or release exchanges or at least any good exchanges or something like that during the middle of a bear market recession, inflation. Like I doubt they like that's a waste of because every single time they do something that's newsworthy, it can pump things and they know this. So they're not gonna use their best ammo during a freaking like during a recession and all this stuff going on right now. So they're gonna wait. I feel like we have time, more time than people realize.
So I want to just let you guys know that I am not concerned with OMI token price. I'm not concerned with the broader market. In fact, I look at it as a great opportunity to potentially load up on some tokens on a really inexpensive price here. And, you know, I don't want to make light of the recession or tell people to buy the dip. If we hit recession territory, like it looks like it's possibly going to happen, people will start losing jobs. People may lose their homes. It's going to be a scary time. And I don't want to make
Sad.
light of that. So, all in all, we need to secure our primary sources of income. We need to make sure we still have a job at the end of the day. We have to lower our expenses. But if we have some funds after, a large amount of savings saved up, that money you could possibly use to buy the OMI token. I look at it in the same way. I want to make sure my job is secure. I try to work a little bit extra to get a little bit of income during these uncertain times. I am trying to top up my savings account because I recently had to purchase a new AC and furnace. Unexpected expenses happen all the time, and having a safety net is very important. And only with the extra money I have that's set aside will I use that to buy OMI. So I think everyone should follow the general savings advice that people talk about in the finance community, because I think it's really important to have a stable ship before you invest in something that's potentially unstable like crypto and OMI token specifically. So all in all, I'm very excited about this time. It's a great way to purchase OMI tokens on the cheap right now. Guys, if you like my channel, if you
Make sure you subscribe to the homie, all that. And yeah, this was a dope video. I liked it. Like he has a lot of great insights, a lot of great opinions, I love to see his videos, hear his opinions, man. But yes, he'll show Dan some love. Hey, Dan and Dan. I just noticed those two on the thumbnail, Dan and Dan. But there we have it, y'all, man. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, fam.